Oh, he's valid.
Hey! Alright. I hit the start button. So that means it's time to introduce the
Cool.
cast. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Oni, tell us about your favorite bullpen member of the Philadelphia Phillies this year.
Is there somebody named Jeff on the team?
No.
Well, I guess I don't have anything to say.
I couldn't tell you the last time they had someone with the first name of Jeff on the team.
Yeah, man, it's just slowly getting back into streaming more. Still doing art stuff, working on a new animation, and I question why do I do this to myself, because that's gonna be a motherfucker to do on top of what I'm already doing.
Hey, Oni.
I'm proud
Yeah.
of you.
Question one, why do you do this to yourself? Question number two, this is so awesome that you take the initiative to do this for yourself.
I mean, I made a follower animation when I first started streaming, and I'm like, yeah, this needs to be updated. So yeah, I was like, yeah, just let me get around to it now.
I'll get to it when I get to it.
How was your first Silent Hill experience, Kios?
No, it was really good. Really good. I got the good plus ending.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for me. Who's next?
The only person in this voice call who was actually alive, besides me, the last time the Phillies won a World Series, it's Little Sharky.
You won that against my team, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, listen, learn to share. Sharing is caring.
I hate you. Hi, I'm Sharky. I'm old. I'll go back to streaming one of these days. I'm very bad at being British. Let's have some fun.
If Florida Man was from the Pacific Northwest, it's Chris Rees.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's appropriate.
My name is Chris Reeds. I lead the raid group list in Final Fantasy XIV and currently just play Starfield. It's a good game.
Good game.
Currently, I am refusing to do any of the main story because the main story sucks and exploring the entire universe is much more enjoyable.
Well, I mean, hey, the heat death's gonna get us anyway. Speaking of heat deaths, the only thing that'll survive that is artificial intelligence. It's Lon.
How did I know heat death was going to be a segue to me? Hi, I'm Lon. I play RPGs, but mostly just Starfield.
It's a good game, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a good game.
Yeah. I get to show off a beta demo for a Mars like tactics combat game thing. I don't know. I just got the info on it today.
I was so horrified that you were gonna say like Martian Life Simulator. Like, Lon, you cannot populate an entire planet. Please, you can't show that on Twitch.
But
I
you
was
can't
hoping she was-
describe it.
There are too many people saying things that aren't yes, Kios, thank you, Kios, at the same time.
I was hoping she was going to say another crap stream.
Yeah, true.
It's
I
called
regret
Mars
nothing.
Tactics, and I know almost nothing about it, but I got a random key for it, so I'll get to show that off.
Nice. Are you enjoying Yakuza like a dragon?
You're gonna
Like-
bully me into actually playing Yakuza now, aren't you? 'Cause
No,
I've been
no. I'm
playing
just
Starfield.
asking because I've been having way too much fun with it.
I
Like-
love what I'm watching you do, but like that would involve me actually like hitting the go live button, and it's all the way over there, and I'm all the way over here.
Yeah, but like I've actually played video games offline. I've put like a full campaign plus into Baldur's Gate 3 offline. without
Like
hitting
a
the go live
dragon.
button.
Offline, what kind of content creator would I be if I did
Yeah,
that?
playing games for yourself is a thing.
You know, it took me a while to figure that out. And there are just some things I don't need to share with the internet.
You've seen my Twitter. You know that there is very little I don't share with the internet.
Well,
Speaking
you
of-
know, it's also not appropriate for my all naked party playthrough.
Speaking of things that are meant to be shared with the internet, it's Shy.
True!
Hmm.
Did you bring enough dinner for the rest of us?
I'm sorry, when I asked you that the other day, you very pointedly didn't. So, I didn't feel like Shy needed to.
Oh, I see how it is. You're gonna gang up and bully the streamer.
What else is new?
Yeah, fucking Crimea River.
I mean, if we really wanted to, I mean, you just get like about 8 of these in a row, but then again,
Eh,
hi, I'm Shy. I am an integral. I play video games. Usually you can catch me playing Final Fantasy XIV, Stardew Valley. I finished off Battle Chef a long time ago, and am looking to get something else going. So hopefully sooner rather than later, now that I've managed to smash down some rather annoying PC problems, we can finally get back into something like that. So yeah.
toothpaste. Anyway, I'm the modern day equivalent of a vampire. Pretty much once you invite me into your home, it's all over. But I'm not gonna lie, the tooth. What? I don't glitter because I'm not a douchebag. But anyway, toothpaste flavor is delicious and not anything at all like mint chocolate chip.
Yeah.
All right, once we left off, it was time for some formal testimony after Cosmo was like, yeah, I definitely went to kill somebody. And we're like, that's illegal. And the judge is like, yeah.
So, which one of us is Strongheart now?
You.
You!
I will
Soldier
now
boy,
resume
tell
my
him.
role as chief douchebag. About what exactly happened in your cabin aboard the ship on the evening of Halloween?
Of course. As a man of the law, I have no intention of obstructing justice.
Canadian Shy, Canadian.
Oh, I
You're
gotta
too
mix it
low
up
then
with,
yet.
Get a little bit of that Newfie, a little bit of that Minnesota, don't you know? So like, yeah, you can do this. You can do this.
I need an adult.
I got it mixed up with Susato's dad. Sorry.
For the events in the cabin.
I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal of poutine in the dining room.
Perfect.
When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there foolishly waving a gun at me, don't you know? I soon took care of him with an Ippon-sei throw, though. Couldn't wait to run away after that. I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder into a snowdrift. It has nothing to do with his murder. The inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain because his body was found in London. No northern exposure here.
Ippon-seo? Seoi? Se...
A common jujutsu martial arts technique in my country. We use it to take down moose.
I believe we call that a femboy flip.
I was careful not to use too much force, but the man obviously landed too heavily for his watch to take.
So, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I imagine you can see the flaw in your logic now, can't you? The fact that the pocket watch was broke in the witness's cabin in no way proves that the victim's murder took place there.
Man, eat my
Scanlan,
ass.
you're muted.
Also, hold on. One thing that's not working properly.
Wasn't sure if maybe he did his line when he was muted last time.
There we go. Nah, just selecting audio mode. Game. What are you doing, game? All right, so today I learned don't change your audio settings while a game is open, otherwise it'll crash, apparently.
Please tell me he didn't flash his BIOS.
Oh
No.
no!
No, I should still be here. Right?
Not again.
Oh no, I was muted. My
I
bad.
know I missed a week, but I feel like that's still a plausible.
No,
outcome.
I'm here.
Oh,
So
I've been making fun of him about it. Like
yeah,
every single
fucking-
day. Don't worry.
Listen,
Okay, good.
all of you suck, but I have to close the game because I changed the audio source because y'all were too loud on my
This is
side
how
and I
we
didn't
throw
want to
out
have to
an
like.
infection here by mercilessly making fun
How
of
am I
you.
still muted? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, there we go.
No, I just tuned in on stream to hear what the hell you were saying because you were definitely talking to us.
Yeah, no, it just like forked my hotkey. There we go. No, so I was y'all were coming through my speakers a bit too loud, but like I had to just like reset them really quick so I could select the audio options and be able to control the volume, properly, so I wouldn't have to like hot toggle the mic constantly.
I feel like
So
since last I was on, I hiked my gain, so I turned it down.
yeah,
Well-
no, so like heckin' I just like turned them off really quick and turned them back on, and then the game was like, I don't like this, and just wouldn't let me do anything. I couldn't even alt F4. It was just like hard locked.
Yeah, I didn't change my gain. I'm just actually talking into my microphone this time.
Yeah,
been a couple
isn't it wonderful what happens when you talk directly into the microphone
Wow.
at like a reasonable distance?
You mean like 5 millimeters? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, about a hand width.
Put the microphone inside your mouth.
That you'll have to pay me extra for.
Juan has just been getting progressively quieter.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't even register.
It's because I didn't say anything.
Okay.
That's not what I heard.
All right, back it up. There we go.
I've no doubt the inspector intended to kill me. But he didn't manage to pull the trigger.
Yes, because he was merely the tactician, not the Reaper's hand of death.
Well, the testimony appears to make perfect sense as far as I can tell. I have already decided the conclusion before we begin.
Let me express my deep gratitude for your understanding, my lord. Please take this generous gift of maple syrup.
Thank you, I've needed new body wash.
But if this testimony holds, Judge Chigoku will be deemed to have had no involvement in the case.
Well, counsel, I really see no reason for wasting precious court time here on a cross-examination.
Sorry, my lord. The defense has a right to cross-examine, and I don't intend to squander that.
You're an embarrassment to your countrymen, not knowing when you're beaten.
Suck my ass.
In that case, proceed, Ryunosuke-kun.
I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room.
Because the so-called guard posted at your cabin door had just let your killer pass, you mean?
Apparently, Gregson told the crewman he was a police inspector, which was the truth, of course you know.
He wouldn't have had his identification with him, though.
He had his trench coat and mustache, not to mention bag of chips. I imagine the crewman was convinced.
I mean, the
I
bag
don't
of
know about
chips
that.
is absolutely credentials for a police officer.
But the man accompanying him would have had 2 swords slung across his waist.
You mean me?
Who else?
Yes, that's true. You would have hoped the sight of a few swords might have set off alarm bells in the guard's head.
Go fix your shit.
That's actually what I'm doing. There it is. Yeah, no, it's because I closed the application forcefully.
The point is, I left the cabin before its occupant returned, and I immediately disembarked the ship.
Certainly. All I can tell you is that only the inspector was waiting for me when I arrived back at my cabin.
And you entered without any inkling of suspicion?
That's right. None whatsoever. When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me.
Hold it!
Obviously, you're talking about Inspector Gregson?
Yes, though at the time I didn't know the man's name. He didn't go to the trot tournaments or anything, and there was no time for introductions. I value my life over manners.
By which you mean that the inspector was there to assassinate you, I suppose?
It was certainly an impression given by the gun pointing in my direction.
Doesn't sound like you're making
But
curry
I've never
right
seen
now.
The muzzle of a revolver shake so much in all of my life. Anyone would think the man had never shot somebody before, don't you know?
Believe it or not, most of us haven't.
You should try sometime, it's very relaxing. Anyway, there was no time to call for the help of the crewman at the door, so I dealt with the man myself. I soon took care of him with an Ippon-sei throw, though. He couldn't wait to run away after that.
Hold it!
Even though the man had a gun? It was a very brave move, wasn't it?
My Ippon-sei is far faster than a bullet, I can assure you. It will even beat the Twins
I
into the baseball playoffs.
press X to doubt. But surely all that commotion caused the crewman to come in, didn't it?
Yes, of course. He burst in immediately without knocking. He was very rude. He was what they call Iowa nice.
Well, I mean, that's not what he told us, but sure.
The inspector hurled himself at the stocky fellow and just managed to slip past him to make his escape.
Yeah, we finished Silent Hill. The outstanding guard does it again.
Really, there aren't many situations I can't get out of using a quick Ippon-sei throw. I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It has nothing to do with his murder.
Hold it!
The crown snapped off, and the glass covering the face of the watch was cracked.
Preferable to the man's head being pulled off for his spine cracking, wouldn't you say, you know?
Not that the man was spared for long. A bullet to the chest soon saw to that. But the point is, the broken pocket watch doesn't prove that a murder took place.
Absolutely not. All the watch proves is the power of my jujutsu throw.
Whatever you say, it doesn't quite ring true that no shot was fired in that cabin. Because there was an obvious bullet hole in the wall.
What are you talking about? That's what the star of your well-brought detective stories told you, is it? Well, I don't care for such fiction, you know.
12:30 Eastern.
Haven't you worked it out yet, you little stripling? No murder took place in my cabin. The inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain because his body was found in London.
Hold it!
But there's no evidence that proves the victim ever returned to London alive. Looks like you're sucking up on some YouTube VODs then, young man. What?
If the inspector was killed on the steamship in France, how on earth could he have got back to Britain? When people die, their bodies remain at that same spot. It's a devil of a thing, don't you know?
No, they can be moved. Well, then obviously the culprit must have moved the body.
How exactly? Carrying a corpse off a ship in your arms would raise a few eyebrows at least, don't you think?
As someone who has seen Weekend at Bernie's, nah, fam.
Well, yeah, that's true, but
All passenger luggage is inspected when it is unloaded from arriving vessels.
is it though?
And I would like to think the border police would query the corpse of an English gentleman as hand luggage.
Is it though?
Alright, fair enough.
I think it counts as luggage.
I don't know if I'm remembering it correctly, but
The border police are not trained to interrogate white people, so you might be right.
If the murder had taken place aboard the ship, you would imagine the body would have been disposed of at sea. There would be no sense in risking being caught by attempting to transport the body back to Britain.
okay, you say that, but Gregson's like half oil. You throw him into the water and there's just this trail of oil behind the boat, leading directly back to his dead body.
That's gonna get noticed.
In a room on
Perhaps
Reno
not.
Street. Miss Susato?
We've heard that the first-class passengers were under constant scrutiny by the crewmen posted to guard them. Which would mean that the culprit had no opportunity to dispose of the body in the sea.
Like a mouse.
Yeah, that's true. So transporting the body to Britain may have been the only viable alternative.
Dear me, you really are new to this, aren't you? I thought it was perfectly clear, but it seems I'm going to have to explain it in words that you can understand. I think I ought to alter my testimony, with your consent, of course, my lord.
I have no objection. State your amended testimony forthwith. Forthwith.
There's no possible way I could have transported the victim's corpse back to Britain.
What, not this massive trunk?
Objection!
There's no possible way you could have moved Inspector Gregson's body, you say. I would say the opposite is true. Doesn't matter if I'm right, I'm just trying to prove him wrong because he's a dick now.
And what's that supposed to mean?
That
He's
boy
always
needs
been a
therapy. Well, far from being impossible for you to do. The transporting of Inspector Gregson's body back to Britain is something only you could do.
It'd be super
What are
easy.
you talking
Barely an
about,
inconvenience.
I do remember him talking about how heavy his suitcase was. As well as being a judge, Mr. Jigoku is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs, which means he's exempt from having his luggage searched when he enters the country. We learned that when we first met you upon your arrival in London. Oh damn, bro. You about to get fucked by the long dick of the law?
I'm into it, don't you know? All these passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Ah, I knew you were jealous.
I presume you recall this, Judge Jigoku? It's a photograph we took in the foyer of the hotel to mark the occasion. As the court will note, you have with you your very large travel trunk. Large enough, in fact, to have a corpse inside.
Mr. Naruhodo, surely you're not suggesting.
I'm afraid I am. Expulsion is the only answer. I'm afraid I am. Yes. 3 days ago, when we were chatting innocently with the new arrivals from Japan in the hotel, the body of Inspector Gregson was just meters away from us, inside Judge Jigoku's trunk.
Order! Order in court! I'm skeptical, and also skeptical, counsel, that a grown man's body could fit inside even the largest travel trunk.
It could. Because I happen to know that the witness himself, a man of considerable size, fits inside his own trunk. And verifying that would be extremely simple. Wouldn't it, Judge Jigoku?
But inside his trunk, how horrifying. Only junk's supposed to be in there.
And after we'd spoken with you at the Great Waterloo Hotel, you had the opportunity to visit the apparent scene on Fresno Street, taking your trunk with you in a cab to deposit the inspector's body.
I don't have
Hey,
to
Dev.
listen to this nonsense.
Damn, that's not a legal defense. Dr. Gory, the coroner who examined the body, has confirmed the possibility. She'd acknowledged that there have been signs that steps may have been taken to disguise the true time of death. The onset of the body's decomposition could have been delayed by storing it in a refrigerator.
Counsel, as I remember explaining yesterday, refrigerators of the requisite size are few and far between.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. But one place they're certainly found is on large ocean liners.
Uh-huh.
Such ships are equipped with electrically refrigerated cold rooms to keep food fresh on their long sea voyages. And the USS Grouse is no exception. Professor Mikotoba told me about it only yesterday. Well, Judge Jigoku? However much you prolong this debate, you can't eliminate the truth. All the evidence points to you being the killer.
Well, this is all very heartening, don't you know? I can see that it was a wise move, letting Asogi and you embark on this study tour.
What are you talking about now?
Logical reasoning, of course. All court proceedings will be built on logical reasoning in the new century. I can see that you've both laid firm foundations for that already.
Judge Goku, please stop diverting attention from the issue at hand.
And wasn't he just calling you a shit lawyer like 30 seconds ago?
3 seconds ago, yeah.
The defense has made an accusation against you. How do you respond?
Fine. There's really no need for me to respond, is there?
Why ever not?
Because before you can even begin to answer the question of when the victim was killed, you must first establish one key fact. Where was the victim killed, don't you know? It's quite logical.
The actual scene of the crime?
The prosecution's stance is unaltered. The killing took place on Fresno Street, where the gunshot was heard. As the accused, Barack Von Zieks shot the victim at point-blank range.
Since no tangible evidence exists to disprove the prosecution's claim at this time,
Whoa. Isn't burden of proof on the prosecution?
I require the defense to make an ass pull and find some. And the defense's deductions amount to little more than an elaborate fairy tale.
I'm afraid that's how the logical reasoning the British are known for really works, young stripling. Come back when you're able to drink.
The victim was shot in that little room on Fresno Street and died instantly. I'm afraid it's the prosecution's claim that's the only fairy tale here.
How can you say that?
Because I can suck my dick, loser.
Congrats.
Quite simply. Because the claim clearly contradicts a certain piece of evidence in our possession.
Very tantalizing, counsel. I think you had better explain yourself to the court. Don't you?
No, I will be taking no further questions. The prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot at the scene on Fresno Street.
Take that!
Sure, it's gotta be something here.
Look at this photograph. In the very location you claim he wasn't killed?
Yes, but the point is, the posture of the body itself. If Inspector Gregson had been shot there in that room, it's out of the question his body would have been curled up in a ball like that.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but your logic is flawed. He could have easily adopted that fetal position due to the pain of the shot, which subsequently proved fatal.
Nah, fam, he would have been folded like a lawn chair.
Objection!
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Judge Shigoku, but it's your logic that is flawed.
What?
No, you're wrong! No,
No,
that's
you're
wrong. According to this autopsy report, the victim died instantly. He would have felt no pain, much less have been able to draw himself into that position.
Huh?
Which begs the question of why the victim's body is curled up in that way. Though, the answer should be abundantly clear by now.
You're suggesting
The inspector's body took on that posture ahead of its arrival on Fresno Street. Before it was coldly turned out on the floor from the inside of a large travel trunk.
No.
You're quite right. The shape of the body looks exactly as if it had been kept in a confined space.
Judge Jigoku, present your trunk for examination. I believe it's very possible that it will contain traces of the victim's blood.
It's my trunk. You can kiss my trunk. I refuse, don't you know?
What?
On what grounds?
Diplomatic immunity, motherfucker.
Has just been revoked. For those of you not old enough, that's a little known movie called Lethal Weapon.
I'm just waiting for the Judge Dredd.
I'm the Minister of
reference to-
Foreign Affairs for the Empire of Japan. I shouldn't have to put up with this treatment just because of some stripling baseless accusations, don't you know? Where's my maple syrup and poutine? I am leaving.
In other words, Judge Jigoku, there is blood in your trunk.
I decline to answer that. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have privileges that...
At this moment, you are not a government minister. You're a witness in a trial in Britain's highest court. Just these guns. I don't care who you are or what your status outside this courtroom must be. You will not withhold information. Nothing is more important than the truth.
Didn't Jigoku last week admit to orchestrating a ring of assassins, and now he's like really, really trying not to get pinned for one murder?
Order! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Jigoku, how's it gonna be?
You know, I was thinking the same fucking thing, Sharky. Damn.
Thank you.
You can't be serious. You did it?
Have you no shame at all, Kazuma Asogi?
What?
Very well, I admit it. I did bring the inspector's body into the country. Inside my trunk, exactly as postulated by the defense.
I'm sensing a huge butt bullshit here.
Dear God! Outrageous!
So it was you!
No, I admit to nothing more than what I've said.
I mean, that's still desecration of a corpse. That is a crime, a rather serious one.
He admitted to leading a ring of assassins.
Of killing the man, I certainly have no recollection.
On what earth is that cryptic bullshit supposed to mean?
Oh, what is it, like temporary insanity?
He's got a self-defense argument.
He's blackout drunk.
I merely disposed of the inspector's body, which was left in my cabin.
Took too much DMT, gotta go by.
I think it was maple whiskey based on his Canadian status.
In order to avoid unwanted attention. As the judicial assistant over there pointed out, I had no chance to throw it into the ocean.
I mean, this is a very simple problem. Excuse me, waiter, there's a rather large corpse in my soup. And then they come and take care of it.
So, I decided my only option was to bring it into Britain with me and dispose of it somewhere else.
Why don't you just put it somewhere else? You can't still deny it. If you didn't do it, then who on earth did kill Gregson?
As you know, there was one other person in my cabin that night. He had the opportunity. And moreover, he'd already accepted the mission to take the inspector's life.
Oh,
That's right. Who else could it have been? It was you, Kazuma Asogi.
You.
I'm pretty sure the only two people in the entire goddamn courtroom that are not involved in this murder are Ryunosuke and Susato.
I don't know
Gina.
that Susato isn't involved.
That's a
Yeah,
fair point.
it's
Susato
probably
might
Gina.
be involved.
He just says the right keyword, and suddenly Susato morphs into Asa Shin.
I never thought you'd stoop to this, Seishiro Jigoku.
Hey, yo, I can't believe that Judge guy's such a dick.
You've taken the words straight out of my mouth. Prosecutor Kazuma Asogi.
No Meatloaf references?
No.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
You thought by leaving the body in my cabin you could pin the crime on me, did you?
Did you know that Fleetwood Mac and Meatloaf, was it Fleetwood Mac and Meatloaf that used the same writer? They would fight over songs all the time?
I mean, that seems plausible.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But you're not old enough to remember that.
Fuck you, I'm not.
Well, the prosecution counsel has already admitted to visiting the witness's cabin on the night in question.
Yes. On an assassination mission, no less.
You wouldn't.
He absolutely would. This motherfucker is selling you.
So, what do you make of that, young stripling? You've heard my testimony now, and that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll admit to nothing more.
I don't believe this.
Counsel for the defense. What is your position now? The court awaits your response to the witness's assertion. The assertion that on the night in question, the victim's assailant was in fact Mr. Kazuma Asogi.
This isn't the dead end it seems to be. The answer's right in front of me. It comes down to Jigoku or Kazuma. Both of them had the opportunity to kill Gregson, but only one of them did it. And I'm just a step away from proving who. Very well. The defense is ready to respond to the assertion put forward by Judge Jigoku. The idea that the victim's murder could have been committed by Prosecutor Asogi is... Alright. Did Kazuma do it?
Are you asking us, or do you...
Yes, I'm 100% confident in my answer. But are you?
I'm going with, fuck the judge.
What say the rest of ye?
Why would our boy do it?
Because we wouldn't give him the ultra tight bussy. And then he went on a murderous rampage as a fragile young male.
Why did you even ask if you didn't expect that to be the
He wanted to go. He wanted to go full Zoro from One Piece and put a short sword in his mouth, and we said no.
Consent is sexy. Judge Chigoku, let me remind you of something you said only a few minutes ago. You claim that logical reasoning is the future of the judicial process.
It is, no question.
Well, logical reasoning can prove something here. Namely, that it would have been impossible for Prosecutor Asogi to commit the crime.
What?
Look at that handsome boy. He couldn't have done it.
The court will only accept an argument that is supported by compelling evidence. So present what you have, counsel.
Pants grab.
Take that!
Yeah. This itinerary for crew members of the SS Grouse, my lord. This is conclusive proof.
An itinerary? How does that prove anything?
Were you not paying attention yesterday? Judge Shigoku, the moment you acknowledged that you found the victim's body in your cabin, this itinerary suddenly became much more significant.
What? Why is that?
And on the night in question, as always, a crewman sentry was on guard outside your cabin door. As long as he was there, no one could have fired a shot inside the cabin.
Absolutely. Because it's inconceivable that the guard wouldn't have heard it and come in to investigate.
So that tells us that the crime must have taken place when the guard was elsewhere. And that narrows it down to the 20 minutes just after 10 o'clock, as indicated on the itinerary.
Yes, I see no flaw in your reasoning so far.
But the crucial point is this. When the evacuation drill took place, the steamship had already put to sea from the port of Dunkirk. Now, clearly the murder could only have been committed by someone who was aboard the vessel at the time. But Prosecutor Asogi stated in yesterday's proceedings...
I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. So I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night in a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning.
Which I'm sure the court will agree is conclusive proof that Kazuma Asogi couldn't possibly have carried out the killing.
No, absolutely not. I don't accept that at all.
What do you mean?
Was just saying that to exonerate himself. We can't trust if he really disembarked the vessel.
Does he have a receipt?
Obviously, after he left my cabin, he hid himself somewhere nearby on the ship. Just waiting for his chance to come back and...
No, that's out of the question. Isn't it, Kazuma?
As the defense rightly recalls, I disembarked the vessel and spent the night in a boarding house in Dunkirk. And as I said yesterday, I signed my name in the accommodations register book. All extremely easy to verify and undeniable proof.
There's no escape! You can forget that you're a judge or a government minister. Diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. You killed Inspector Tobias Gregson and transported his corpse back to Britain. That's fucked up, my guy. And then you dumped the body in the room on Fresno Street and made it look as if the murder had happened there. That's what really happened, isn't it, Seishiro Jigoku?
It was that damn trial 10 years ago. That's when all this began. Looking back now, my fate was decided that day. I was doomed already.
He's about to rip that thing off its hinges.
Damn, bro, chill.
Wow. Wait,
I'm going Minnesota Super Saiyan. It's over. My life is over.
I was waiting for it to do the FF9 battle transition of a shot glass full of isopropyl alcohol with a drop of lemon juice.
That dude just went into trance.
Ugh.
Oh, man.
Juan, you haven't had much to talk about.
a British assassin to eliminate a professor in Japan. A Japanese assassin to eliminate a detective in Britain. Both assassins will use diplomatic immunity to evade conviction and return safely in their to their homelands.
The assassin exchange request arrived from Britain about 1 year ago. Though it was hardly a request, it was a demand.
And for that, you decided to recruit Mr. Asogi. But things didn't go according to plan. Your chosen assassin never made it to Britain. You found yourself unable to dispatch a replacement. Because I was already on my way to Britain at that time in Cosmo's place.
And that left me with only one option for carrying out my application. To eliminate the mark myself, personally. Of course, there was but a single opportunity for me to do that.
The International Forensic Science Symposium, I presume.
That's right. I decided it would be safest to carry out the plan before my arrival in Britain. So I enlisted the help of my British counterpart.
Who's
made
totally
arrangements
not.
for-
Oh,
I made arrangements
his.
for my
Go ahead.
I made arrangements for a pretext that would take the inspector to Dunkirk.
What were you saying, Lon?
Oh, that the British counterpart is totally not Lord Strongheart. Not. Totally.
Yeah.
Not.
To lure the men in, he was given a sham mission by the Reaper.
Technically, no. That's like the English Channel, isn't it? What? The Reaper?
There's only one person who could have done that. The mastermind of this entire operation. The Reaper himself.
So that means the assassination exchange was all planned by the Reaper?
Not at liberty to say anything about my British counterpart. Just that the son of a bitch owes me. Anyway, the inspector accepted the Reaper's mission and dutifully infiltrated my cabin on the steamship. But it was all a trap designed to lead him to France and his own death.
Oh, how awful.
It was past 9 o'clock when I returned to my cabin from the dining hall that evening. I didn't give him time to attack me. I choked him until he lost consciousness. But there was a guard just outside the door, so I left it at that for the time being. Even the slightest noise might have aroused suspicion, so I bided my time, waiting.
For the 20 minutes after 10 o'clock.
I had intended to finish him by strangulation, but moments before I had the chance, he suddenly came round and went for me in a reckless move. I'd received the British issue gun 16 years earlier. Being a member of the judiciary as a visiting student.
Oh, they're just giving
Welcome to
students
Britain.
guns.
Welcome to Britain. Here's a
What-
pistol.
the
Enjoy your
f-
education.
What in the Florida is this?
Hey now.
You're
It's
an
really
all-star?
more of a tech. Get your show on. Get paid. It's really more of a Texas thing, if you ask me.
True.
It is.
I never imagined I'd have to use it for something like that.
So the revolver belongs to you, does it?
Then the victim was killed inside your cabin on the SS Grouse. Which begs the question of why you arranged for his body to be discovered in the room on Fresno Street.
The young judicial assistant over there has already answered that question. There was no way I could take the body up on deck to throw it over the side. That's precisely where all the crewmen were gathered for the evacuation drill. So before the first class cabin sentries returned, I took the corpse to the refrigeration room.
And then on arriving in Dover, you concealed the body in your trunk in order to smuggle it past the border police.
I knew I needed to take steps if the police were to be convinced when the body was found in London.
In that case, you must have known. You must have had intimate details of Inspector Gregson's intended schedule.
Yes, my British counterpart sent me everything I needed to know. The inspector was due at Fresno Street at 5 o'clock that afternoon. In order to meet a man by the name of Hugh Boone, from who he would take back his police identification. I decided that man would be the perfect person to set up as the culprit. So I took a hackney carriage over there with the body still in my trunk.
That must have been just after we took this photograph with you at the hotel then.
Yes, I wasn't expecting a welcome committee. I was more than a little nervous. On Fresno Street, I spotted a young girl selling little firecrackers.
Miss Venus, of course.
I conceived of the Kent trick there and then. So I donned a simple disguise and approached the girl to buy enough firecrackers to replicate a gunshot.
What sort of disguise?
For some reason, the inspector had a bright red hairpiece in his own traveling case. So I put that on, although I suspect I drew more attention to myself in that than I would have otherwise.
The hairpiece we found at the scene. The inspector had it ready for the Red-Headed League investigation.
I only arrived at the room around 4:45. So I quickly placed the body on the floor, moved the notice board, and set up my little candle trick. I arranged it so the firecrackers would go off with a bang around 15 minutes later.
So that Mr. Boone, who was due to arrive at 5, would walk straight into yet another trap.
Except, at the last moment, I made a careless blunder.
And what was that?
I imagine it was the bag of fish and chips.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that it had fallen out of his overcoat pocket when I moved the body to the refrigeration room. I put it back into his pocket the following morning, but... well, it seems the warmth of the heated cabin had accelerated the decay of the fish. Anyway, that's everything. All the sordid details of what I did.
Don't fear the Reaper.
Yay, we win! Ha ha!
I've heard enough. Despite obviously trying to rig this case, we have arrived at the truth about the murder of one of the country's most capable and respected, I can't say that with a straight face, one of our country's largest appetite owning police inspectors. The witness will be tried in the coming days. For a crime of such a vile nature, you can expect the most severe penalty.
An exchange of assassins. What a foolhardy idea.
Mr. Jigoku, one last detail. Who is your counterpart in Britain? Who was the mastermind behind the assassin exchange? Great answer. Nothing you can say now, nothing you say now can make matters any worse for you. Just tell us.
Enough! I've already told you that I cannot say. Take a flying leap into a bag of poutine.
Even though as things stand, you may very well never set foot in your homeland again.
What are you waiting for? Can't we get this over with now? It's finished. All of it. I'm finished.
Then, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I now pronounce the findings of this court. This man before us has admitted to the willful murder of Tobias Gregson.
Woo!
Remember, cool guys don't look at explosions. Seishiro Jigoku, it is the opinion of this court that you should be found guilty.
Guilty! Yay!
And may I remind all those present of the strict confidentiality demanded by this closed court.
Woo!
Moments ago, Mr. Jigoku signed a written confession, admitting to the murder of Inspector Gregson and the subsequent conveyance of the body. In short, the defendant's innocence has therefore been established beyond doubt.
Oh, wonderful. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah. Thanks.
Is something wrong?
I have to poop. Anyway, what's up with Kazuma?
The true identity of the Reaper of the Bailey and this extraordinary assassin exchange. We do remain in the dark about these mysteries. However, insofar as the indictment brought against the defendant in this trial, we have reached a conclusion.
I have every intention of pursuing both mysteries. As a prosecutor.
As you wish. Now, for the formal adjudication. I hereby that the defendant declare the defendant.
Oh, come on, bro.
The prosecution calls for adjudication to be deferred.
Fucking defer this, bro. We could wrap this game up like right now.
Counsel.
The accused's innocence hasn't been fully established at all. And therefore, it would be wrong to deliver a verdict at this time. That is the prosecution's unwavering position.
Okay, but we would have to try it for all the other different crimes you're trying to accuse him of. Can't just do it in a lump sum, my guy. This isn't fucking J.G. Wentworth.
It's not the U.S. court.
I know it's not a U.S. court. What?
No, I mean, like, you can't stack everything and just try and accuse everybody and get maximum sentence for bullshit.
Yeah.
Like the U.S. court. Yeah.
Well, aren't
But
they? Well,
Yoshikoku has already confessed. Sorry, what?
I was because aren't they itemized though? Like, because it's a separate determination on each charge.
Kind of, but you can stack and combine, and it's fucking weird. It's intended to fuck people over, as it stands.
I feel like it varies state to state too.
It does. Like, it's a mess.
Nevertheless, Barack von Zieks has committed crimes for which he must be punished.
Like what, hiring you?
Well,
It would appear you have information that the court needs to hear. Prosecutor Sogi.
Certainly. The murder of Inspector Gregson was actually carried out by Seishiro Jigoku. But it's clear from the witness's testimony that he was coerced into complying with the plot. Into this sick, merciless assassin exchange.
That may be true, but
So what I want to know is, who coerced Jigoku? Who was pulling the strings? The victim went to France having been ordered on a mission for the Reaper, only to be murdered. In other words, the mastermind behind the assassination exchange is someone in position to give such an order.
It's called sequel bait, my guy. Just let the case end.
As we've already established, the Reaper himself.
Well, certainly that would appear to follow.
The prosecution hereby formally accuses the man in the dock, Barack von Zieks, of being the Reaper of the Bailey, and furthermore, I'm going to prove his guilt beyond all reasonable doubt.
That's your job.
Order! Order in the court. The Reaper of the Bailey is a long-standing mystery, Counselor. Are you suggesting you have some new information with which to build a case?
Scotland Yard has already investigated Lord Van Zieks very thoroughly in that regard. And they found no evidence whatsoever to substantiate the claim that he is the Reaper.
Perhaps. But circumstances have now changed.
what does that mean?
It's already been established that the assassin exchange was negotiated with Jigoku by the Reaper himself. Which means we now have a new line of questioning by which to identify definitively the man's identity. What the?
That's English, I
A
guess.
mouthful.
That's oddly phrased.
That is the prosecution's intention here.
Could have used a comma.
I must say, I'm surprised by quite how tenaciously you appear to want to besmirch my name.
Maybe he just wants to, bang you.
If they're both played by Oni, what does that make that?
Recess.
Sadism.
Kinda hot? Question mark?
I was gonna go with masturbation. Anyway.
You are guilty of an unforgivable crime, Lord Van Zeeks.
What, wearing white after Labor Day?
That's what he's doing.
And I will bring you to justice for it. Whatever it takes.
This is technically November, you are correct, Lauren.
That explains Kazuma's silence before. He was working up his bullshit. He'll stop at nothing to finish what Lord Van Zeeks unwillingly started 10 years ago.
Ellipses. Very well. Whilst it's extremely irregular, I will on this occasion grant the prosecution further opportunity for witness testimony. The defendant will disclose any and all involvement he has had with the Reaper and the Assassin exchange.
Well, this will be short testimony.
I thank you, my lord, for guiding the court so wisely.
Why do I have a feeling we still have like 4 fucking episodes left?
I hereby declare this court to be in session for another 4 episodes.
I'm just saying. I have a feeling.
That tonight's gonna be a good night.
But
No.
tonight's gonna be a long night.
Pray, turn a blind eye to the discourtesy as I verify that this vile and unremitting accusation
Hey, they built the railing
hasn't
again.
soured the contents of my hallowed chalice.
He's about to smash that chussy upside your head.
I hope he
Van
smashes it straight into Strong Fart's face.
Lord Van Zeeks. Oh my.
I first had to suffer the pseudonym of the Reaper 10 years ago now. And ever since that time, I've endured the weight of implied guilt that's gone with it.
It's because he's wearing riding crops, Dev. They always make your butt look good.
So I welcome the chance to testify now and crush those allegations once and for all.
Good. Then let justice decide, Lord Van Zeeks. The prosecution seeks to begin building its case by calling the accused to the stand as a primary witness. In order that he may answer the accusation brought by the prosecution that he is the Reaper of the Bailey.
And what says the defense?
Putting the defendant in the witness stand can be extremely dangerous. And Kazuma-sama is so emotional at the moment, he's not thinking logically.
Good, let's get Van Zeeks up there so Cosmo says something dumb and we can get a dismissal. You're right that he's not himself. But I knew it would be like this. He just gets so worked up. And I came here today determined to face him through whatever might arise. As a lawyer and as his friend.
Then that's what we must do.
You realize Kazuma's gonna get upset and dive at him with a samurai sword, right?
The defense has no objection, my lord.
Very well. Defendant, you will take the witness stand for another 4 episodes, giving formal testimony on the subject of your involvement with the Reaper and the Assassin Exchange.
As you wish, my lord.
Oh shit, we just getting right into it.
I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill. I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson. Clearly, therefore, there's no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassination exchange.
So you deny all accusations by the prosecution? Both that you are the Reaper of the Bailey and that you masterminded the assassination exchange.
I acknowledge that the public at large believe me to be the Reaper. However, that's a fallacy, which I alone am in a position to forswear.
Naturally, the prosecution believes the testimony just given by the what? Hold on, wait. The prosecution believes the testimony just given by the accused to be untrue. Inosuke Naruhodo.
Sir.
Let me ask you, why are you here? What really brings you to this courtroom?
I want you to fuck me, Jerry! Fuck me! See? That's what he said. A desire to uncover your blouse.
What?
You heard him.
Even if the truth proves your client to be guilty?
From all my experiences in this courtroom, I've come to realize something. The truth can't be hidden. Sooner or later, it will come out.
Just like Kazuma.
Don't fear the Reaper.
So it's always my intention to work with my client in pursuit of the truth.
I want you to remember what you just said.
Enough dilatory chatter. Counsel for the defense, proceed to cross-examine the witness.
Ah, yes, my lord. I know exactly what you're thinking, Kazuma. I know you're just waiting to point it out. The contradictions you're convinced lies somewhere within this man's testimony.
The Reaper and the Assassin Exchange.
I've never taken the life of another, nor I instructed another to kill.
Not with that attitude.
One sec, trying to save someone's skin. There we go.
I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson.
That's bullshit.
Objection.
What is this? An autopsy report? Wait. This is 10 years old. From the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Zieks.
What? My brother's autopsy report.
I'm pleased to see the defense doesn't intend to run from the undeniable truth.
Order in court. What reason do you have for presenting a 10-year-old autopsy report here, counsel?
This! The autopsy report of the professor's final victim is an indelible link between Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson, and the defendant.
Not that accursed name again. The professor.
I've personally researched all of the court records relating to the case. I know that at the time, autopsy was considered sacrilege to the victims' souls. And for a member of the aristocracy like Lord Clint Van Zieks, it was unthinkable. But someone implored the powers that be Someone implored that the powers that be to allow the autopsy to go ahead. Inspector Gregson. He declared that he was certain he would obtain conclusive proof from the procedure.
And it was Dr. Wilson who conducted the autopsy. His signature is clearly visible on the document.
As promised by Gregson, the autopsy did indeed produce evidence. Evidence that conclusively proved Genshin Asogi was guilty of the murders. In my brother's dying moments, he mustered all his remaining strength to leave that vital clue behind.
Indeed. That was the key to indicting the professor for his crimes and the conclusive evidence that convicted him. It enabled Lord Van Zieks here to avenge his brother's senseless death with a marvelous victory in court.
A marvelous victory, was it? I wonder if that's really true.
What?
Could the same be said if it turned out that the key piece of evidence in question was in fact fabricated? like the inspector, the coroner, and the prosecutor all colluded together to cast an innocent Japanese man as a mass murderer and send him to his death.
Now we'll get to the heart of the matter.
That's outrageous!
And now, 10 years later, for some reason, the secret has been threatened and needs protecting. Which is why the inspector and the coroner had to be silenced, isn't it? By someone in power in Japan and in Britain, using the two killers recruited for the assassination exchange.
Huh?
Order at once.
Order now.
Order the
Will that complete your order?
10 years ago, my father was convicted in this very courtroom as a mass murderer to be sentenced to death. But it was all a sham, and I swore to myself that I'd prove it. Which is why I had to come to Britain, whatever the cost.
You'll have to forgive me if I feel compelled to toast this vengeful Nipponese's tenacity of purpose here. However, he who fails to quash his emotions in the courtroom has failed as a lawyer.
Come on, Kazuma. You know this won't wash. You're claiming your father was misrepresented in a trial that took place a whole decade ago. You must see that without evidence, that's nothing more than a wild accusation.
As it happens, I have evidence.
Nani?
What?
As the court has heard, I crossed the channel to France with Gregson on the 31st. I went with him on the pretext of being an assassin recruited to kill Seishiro Jigoku. But my true intentions were to make this inspector tell me the truth.
What truth?
The truth about the evidence. And he acknowledged what I've already deduced.
You forgot to wash behind your ears?
There's a closely guarded secret about what went on in the autopsy 10 years ago.
What? A secret? I know nothing of any secret.
Fine,
While we
keep your
waited for my
secrets.
supposed mark in Jigoku's cabin, I drew my clan's illustrious sword, Karuma, before the inspector's eyes. He very quickly understood what my true motive was.
To kill him. Which of us is Gregson?
Steve.
Go ahead, Lon.
You're that Asogi's lad, aren't you? And what? You're gonna cut me down with that thing, is that it?
That will very much depend on the answers you give to my questions.
I want to know what really happened 10 years ago. The truth. That's all.
Before we get into it, let me make one. That was sorry. I have to find Gregsy. Before we get into it, let me make one thing clear. I still believe your father was the professor. There's no doubt in my mind. But unfortunately, back then, we didn't have the evidence we needed to make the crime stick.
So, you admit it then? The evidence used in my father's trial was fabricated?
Damn it.
Was for the good of the country. Anyway, I was just following orders.
Orders? What exactly did you do? Speak!
Hey, what up, Proxy?
Not saying another word.
Even if your life depends on it?
That's right. Even then.
So, that's when the tip of the sword broke.
Oh, Kazuma-sama.
If the results of Clint Van Zeek's autopsy were fabricated, then the investigating officer, Gregson, and the lead coroner, Wilson, must have known about it. And they can only have been ordered to prevent the course of justice in that way by one man. The man leading the case of the prosecution, Barak Von Zeeks.
In other words, the defendant did have cause to organize this exchange of assassins.
Exactly. And as was established earlier, it has to have been the Reaper himself who liaised with Jigoku in Japan to arrange the exchange.
You got that word right.
Ah!
I don't know. Their like vocabulary is very strange
Mhm.
in this game.
Proper.
So it follows that the Reaper's true identity can only be that of the man who stands accused in this courtroom today, Barak Von Zeeks.
We'll find out next time.
On Dragon Ball Z.
Damn, they really did fucking enlist for 4 more episodes.
Yeah, just like Dragon Ball Z, this is gonna take a lot longer than you think it's going to.
Oh my god, I don't even want to know. I'm waiting for
This-
when they fucking wheel in the corpse of what's his name, McGilded. Ah, Jesus Christ.
They should bring in the pawnbroker, and then we have to drag Alfina back in.
Oh, fucking Windibanks.
I'm sure they would appreciate getting drugged back in.
Yeah, I could see that, but only if it's beef stroganoff that does the dragging. Or maybe it will be cousin pork stroganoff. Who knows? Anyway, I started blasting.
Oh, bibbity.
Yeah, sorry. One of my buddies is headed out to Japan in like a week and a half, and he was like, "Hey, how did you do this stuff?" And I'm like trying to get it in so he can get it in, not get it in, but like, get what needs to be done.
You can get it in.
I was just going back and thinking about how Judge Goku went Super Saiyan on the bench there a moment ago.
And they fixed the bench very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Did they?
Yeah, it was back to normal.
Actually,
My
didn't see if they
computer was
rolled-
back to normal today. Finally.
I am happy for your computer.
So was my work computer, even though we had to replace a bunch of switches at work. No, not that kind, Lon.
What do you mean? You still?
Oh,
work
that
there?
kind?
Yes, actually, that kind.
But where did you find enough trees to do that?
You're all banned. Good night. Nah, but like apparently there were all sorts of issues. So like, fucking,
Come on, you
Yeah.
can do it.
you know what? Fuck you. My computer wasn't getting internet.
I look forward to coming back next week in the audience when the streamer has replaced us with 5 AI chatbots.
Ew, fuck AI. AI can
It'd
burn.
probably go better.
Oh, eat
Fuck
my
AI, you
ass.
say?
No, not like that. God damn it, you're all fired.
So we are replaced by AI next week because you just fired us.
No, I'll just do all the parts myself. Eat my ass.
I think.
Wait, what did
you
Oni
trying to
do?
I think you trying to do
He hates
that
me.
Just
while
like
we're all
always,
here.
nothing.
He's just sitting here patiently clipping together his demo reel for all his voice acting gigs he's gonna get off of this. This
I
is my
swear.
jealous voice.
I swear he deserves them.
Look at how much better I am than these chuckle nuts.
Listen,
I had to squash 17 glass chalices in my hands to get this part.
they may not be chuckle nuts, but they're gonna be gargling on mine in about T-minus 5 seconds. It's Chrisseries!
That would be really impressive if you made it here in like 5 seconds.
I was actually thinking that any one of us could have been named by that statement with how you were throwing that out.
It would be a little less impressive with Oni, but still impressive.
Anyway, Chrissy is part of the raid group Blitz. That's all I can remember. I'm getting old.
And play
And I'm-
Garfield.
I'm gonna go squidding on Wednesday.
You're gonna go catch squid.
You guys
It's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna
squidding
fry
me.
a bunch of squid.
It is delicious. You gonna extra yourself or nah?
No, I'm just gonna remind people that they should tell the people they care about how they feel, because there isn't always another chance to do so.
Did you just pull a Sharky outside of golf with your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been doing that for like 4 weeks, bud.
I really have got to be more present. Thank you.
You're home. I can't make. I have to ensure. Lon, Shy, and I have a pact that we have to ensure it is not forgotten.
Yes.
Something, I have to chase her away with a wiffle ball bat. It's Lon.
Joke's on you. I can probably be into that. Anyway, hi, I'm Lon.
More like a pickleball
I-
battle.
I exist to make Kyo's life miserable, and I think I do a really good job. I also stream games occasionally, you know, once in a while when I'm not dealing with
Playing
like,
Starfield.
Playing Starfield. I was gonna come up with better excuses, but you called me out, and I'm just gonna, accept it. I will be playing Mars Tactics and Yakuza Like a Dragon. Please look forward to it, and be good to each other.
It is. They have 2 sticky hands, 2 sticky toes, and something else I'm not allowed to talk about on stream. It's Shy.
Well, I mean, that's probably true, but yeah. Hi, I'm Shy. I am a Ninja Girl. I stream video games. Actually, occasionally. Probably should be doing that more. But then again, yeah. Like I said, I finally managed to squash some really annoying tech issues with my computer. And I just gotta get things back to where they are, and I'll probably be back sooner than you think. So yeah, please look forward to it.
It sounds like a promise. It feels like a threat.
Speaking of promises, it's Oni Heart.
Excuse me. Yeah. Aside from doing art-related things, I think on the list, I have to continue and finish Mundan. An interesting horror game, and start Tormented. Hold on, what is that game called?
I believe it's called Omega Strikers.
Tormented Souls. That's not a horror game. I haven't played Omega Strikers in a long time, actually.
Well, that's why you gotta start it again.
But yeah, Tormented Souls, don't know anything about it, but I've heard that if you like classic horror games, then it's up your alley, so I'm going to be starting that at some point. But on another note, I found out that one of my favorite DS games is on sale on Steam, and it's called Alliance Alive, and it's only $10.
It is a
until
great
the
game,
16th.
and you get a fucking
Alliance
duck
Alive?
robot.
What is it?
Yep, Alliance Alive. It's it's very cute. The soundtrack's good. The combat system is pretty unique, honestly. And you get a duck robot.
Yeah, if you are familiar with some entries in the Saga franchise, the combat system is somewhat similar in that you don't learn. There's no level system, and you don't learn abilities by leveling up or anything. You get your abilities randomly.
Oh, interesting.
Uh-huh.
So
It's
it's
kinda like-
it's in the FF2 school of.
Yeah, it's literally. I
Use
was
your
literally
ability.
about to say that.
Yeah.
Speaking of FF2, I remember them showing this game to me in our childhood. It's everyone's favorite Floridian, Little Sharky.
Look, it's important to expose your little brother to the classics, and I'm glad I got to do that, younger friend of mine who I deeply appreciate. Hey folks, I'm Sharky. I'm old. I play video games. Eventually I will do it again on the internet. Y'all are wonderful. Tell your people that you love them because you do. Be nice to your friends, play Omega Strikers, and don't replace yourselves with AI.
Except me.
Yellow
I
fuck.
get to do that.
Do drugs! Just kidding. But if y'all don't know me, I am Kios. Thank you so much for hanging out, y'all. Thanks for the resubs. Thanks for hanging out. We finished Silent Hill 1 today, and we're edging ever closer to the finale of this. I guess we'll start Silent Hill 2. I am not sure if I'm doing Forspoken on GDQ at 10 or 7. Just, you wish, my guy. Just keep an eye on the Discord. That'll be the easiest kind of way to figure out where we're at. So there is the Discord. If you haven't subbed to the YouTube, best way to check up on what we got going. Push that to partner, hooray, whatever. Tea drinkers, check out our blends with Adagio. Proceeds benefiting the Trevor Project. And if you want to support the Stinky Twinkie Cat, you know what? I'm stealing that. If you want to support the Stinky Twinkie Cat Boy, check out the Throne wish list. But for me, we're going to call it a night here. We're going to go raid our friend Willow. If you were a hockey player with an STD, would your name be Darian Pecharitis?
Why are you
No.
like this? I'm not gonna say hi to Willow.
That's fine.
Quit.
You can't quit. It's a Darian Kasperitis joke. Jesus fuck, there's like... It's probably the first time someone's made a joke about that man in his entire life besides his fucking career.
I would have gone with poutine penicillin, but you know, whatever floats your boat.
You know what? We'll end it on this note. Fuck Scott Stevens. That dude's an asshole.
I know Steve Eiserman's name.
Steve Eiserman's a good dude. Scott Stevens played for the Devils and ruined like 3 or 4 superstars' careers. Paul Correa, Eric Lindros, and someone else.
Did you know that the Texas Rangers blamed their winning streak in the playoffs for blasting Creed in the locker room between games?
Did you know that they also won a game because Ted Cruz showed up at an Astros game?
I think that was the Twins.
Was it the Twins? True.
Yeah, the Twins were against the Astros.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck Ted Cruz, too.
Everything